The engine's sort of dying. I'm dying after 2 nights on the road. But anyway, here we go.
There's an Ekow joke in here somewhere, Adam. This is Steve from Boxing UK in association with Supreme CBD. Adam Smith, late in the night in Glasgow. We've had many famous nights here with Josh Taylor. Yeah. Not one of them.
Yeah, we have. I love being in Scotland. Alex Arthur, Scott Harrison, Gary Jacobs back in the day, Ricky Burns, of course, and Josh Taylor's given us so many amazing nights here, and I think it was the 6th time he's fought here. First defeat, and backs on to a couple of other defeats, obviously, the Jack Catchell second fight, Teofimo Lopez, and then if you look at the Catchell first fight, it's pretty much 4 in a row for Josh, and the inactivity, and I think the move up to welterweight, a lot of that was difficult. I thought we saw cameos of class. He rolled back the years at times, but I thought it got tough for him down the stretch. Ekow Essuman was brilliant. He stuck to the game plan. The right hands troubled Josh at times, and I thought he worked the body. I thought he just was effective, solid, fit, determined to make it his night. He didn't care about being in the Lion's Den, didn't care about the crowd, which was amazing, by the way. And the crowd was sort of slightly silenced, a bit like Lee Wood in Nottingham the other week. Ekow Essuman's night deserved it. But it was a fantastic performance.
Josh seemed a little bit surprised at the scorecards. They were fair enough, Adam, weren't they?
I think so. I mean, I have no problem whether it was by 2, 3, 4, however you saw it, but the right guy won. Ekow Essuman won the fight, for me anyway, and certainly for Barry and Darren and Carl and everyone at ringside. And Carl's pretty close to Josh Taylor, but you call it as you see it. I know Josh was really upset after the first Catchell fight, and that was hugely controversial. In many ways, I thought that was wider than tonight. But yeah, look, he's in there, and maybe it's a different viewpoint. And at times he boxed well. He definitely won rounds, but he didn't win the fight, in my opinion. But it's subjective. It's up to the 3 judges. I thought they got it right.
Can Josh Taylor come back from that and adapt his style, Adam, to continue, or is that enough evidence that that's probably the start of the end?
Well, look, it's up to Josh. Josh has been an absolute legend in British boxing and fantastic, a Scottish hero, and he's a Hall of Famer. So he owes nothing to nobody. But he did say that he wanted to become a 2-weight world champion. It was a really hard fight to pick, a welterweight to start with. He knew about Ekow from back in the day when they sparred together, but hats off to him for doing that. It was his Queensbury debut. So no, it's up to Josh what he wants to do. He's still only 34. It's just whether he can perform at this level, consistently over 12 rounds. I mean, there were glimpses, weren't there? Yeah, but it's sustaining it in a tough division. It's going to be hard, but he's. I think maybe he needs that. If Barry and Carl were saying that he probably should call it a day. If he can't sort of get through at this sort of level, will he win a world title again at welterweight? It's questionable, I guess, after that performance. But at the same time, maybe he needs a couple of fights and the momentum might come back. Yeah. He's not got to drag himself down to super lightweight, but only him and his team and his family know the answer to these questions. And if he thought he won, then maybe it'll give him fuel to either try and get a rematch with Essuman or go again. I mean, we'd love to see this place filled up, but maybe Nathaniel Collins and 1 or 2 of the others can do that. I mean, it seems some real stars coming through. And as for Moses the Town, his performance was absolutely sensational. So, look, it was a really good night. Doncaster was plenty to like there last night. Lots of good action. The main event was obviously one-sided with Terry Harper, but there was plenty of good fights in Doncaster. And here there was some real electricity, knockouts, great action in the main event, and fantastic night live on the zone again.
Absolutely. Social media, Adam, can be a cruel place. And there's a lot of comments tonight that are relating Josh's decline with leaving Shane and Barry McGuigan. I don't know if you've seen, but Shane's put a post out tonight, just a picture of him and Barry McGuigan straight after the result was announced. Any credibility in that?
Look, Josh is the guy to ask these questions to. Look, Shane McGuigan's a brilliant trainer, but he's had a fantastic corner as well tonight. They've been with him, the boys, for a while, and look, it's easy to sort of hurl stuff at corners and managers and even fighters after things like that. You know, they're the ones that get in the ring, and they know better than anyone. So look, Josh has been in some hard fights, and at a really, really elite level. So yeah, you don't know. It's a question for him and both his team and I guess that the McGuigans have moved on. They've got Caroline Dubois, Adam Azim, some spectacular talent. You know, he's a phenomenal trainer, Shane. But yeah, look, you're always going to ask these things. I just think probably it's Josh has still got that beautiful talent and range and rhythm and shape, but he could only do it for a few of the rounds. The shape just sort of lost, and you know, he didn't seem the fighter he once was, certainly for the back end of the fight. But I think again you've got to give Ekow Essuman credit. He's only lost once to Harry Scarf, and he can give anyone a nightmare. So Ekow is pretty much unbeaten going into this. So you've got to give credit to Ekow Essuman. I suppose all the questions will be about Josh Taylor, should he retire, shouldn't he? But I think also you've got to say, hey, it's Ekow Essuman's night, and give Josh a little bit of time to have a look back at it maybe and think about what he could have done and how his body feels. And maybe he feels that he needed that fight at welterweight to go again. But you know, only he can answer that. He's 34, he's not 39, 40. He's been around a decade as a pro, but he's had a hard career because he's been at elite level. And look, he's a phenomenal fighter. As I said, he owes no one anything. And if he wants to carry on, great. If he doesn't, then we'll all remember him as an amazing fighter. But that's one for Josh to answer in a few weeks, I think.
Certainly. There's two pretty quick ones, Adam, before you go. Tyson Fury posted a video this morning saying he's definitely staying retired. More pedology from Mr. Fury?
I mean, obviously. I don't think we even have to go there. It's all fun and games, isn't it? Yeah. He's coming back, and I think he'll fight AJ. So we'll wait and see what happens. But yeah, that fight's going to happen, I think.
Brilliant. Last one, girl from our neck of the woods, Georgia.
Yeah.
Sadly lost her battle the other night. Absolutely tragic. As somebody that's touched cancer, Adam, just a thought on Georgia. She did our region proud. Multi-medalist. Just sad, isn't it?
Devastated. Really found it tough the other day, actually. She and I got fairly close in the last few months. Obviously, we shared cancer battles, and she just took it. I mean, I don't know many people who would have had the spirit and the warmth with what she had to go through. You know, she knew early on in her life that she was susceptible to illness, but to go at such a young age is utterly tragic. She was an amazing young woman, a wonderful fighter, a brilliant musician, a terrific young lady, and a very funny one. And I think you see the outpouring from so many people in the last few days. I lost a very good friend of mine when he was 23, tragically, and so yeah, like I can sort of I can't put myself where her family are at the moment, but you know, I have dealt with that sort of thing and been through cancer, and all I know is that she was an incredible woman, a fantastic fighter, and I'm gutted she's gone, because I really enjoyed our little bond, and you know, we were messaging last week, and yeah, it's devastating, and she gave me a lot of support, so yeah, I'll really miss her.
Proper good North East lass. Adam, I do appreciate your time.